What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. John here with Feldman PT and Performance, and today on the performance side of things, we're going to talk about what your athletes should be eating before their competition days, on their competition days, or even what they should be looking at consuming, not for competition days, but for really specific high intensity and low skill training days, where you really want to make sure that your training ceiling is not lower than it needs to be. We want to make sure you're primed and ready to go. Inspired by a lot of my athletes in the thick of the fall season. It's gorgeous weather out. I love this time of year. And unfortunately, a lot of the athletes are coming in, and by the time they see me for an appointment, they've barely got, maybe 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories in them. I don't know what it is. My athletes just don't want to eat nowadays. All I could think about and still think about is eating. So it's a really, really important topic to discuss for performance purposes. So remember, for today's talk, these are going to be general guidelines, very reductionist. Obviously, there's always nuances to the nutrition equation, and it's really about what's best for your athlete and their needs, and specifically what their bodies and their stomach can handle, because a lot of this comes down to making sure that you're optimizing what you put in your stomach so your body can digest it and not have extra things in there lingering and sloshing around undigested while you're trying to run around and expend energy, because that's inefficient and it can also cause problems. So we're going to be talking about carbohydrates, specifically simple and complex. They're ideal for replenishing glycogen stores and providing immediate energy and long-term energy. So simple carbs or simple sugars are easier to digest and do provide immediate energy. Think about just putting, juice in your body or sugar in water and, drinking that. That's really immediately available energy for your body. Whereas more complex carbohydrates are known as slower digesting, and they should be timed better for consumption to provide energy for a period of time over hours or days. All right, so we're going to talk about the day before and the day of competition. When we're talking about demands for activity, we're going to talk about glycogen, which is actually your body's stored form of energy in the liver and in your muscles. So when you eat, your body takes in the calories and the food, and then it decides what it needs to use right away and what it needs to store for later. And it can either store the glycogen, which is that stored form of energy, in your liver or in your muscles. The liver is most responsible for supplying energy for blood sugar, right? So you want to maintain proper blood sugar levels during the day for rest activity or more intense activity, running around, jumping around, walking, sprinting, whatever it might be, okay? While the glycogen in your muscles is primarily used to meet the energy needs of your body during some sort of exercise. And again, your level of exercise and level of demand is going to dictate how much you need. So generally we stop talking about proteins and fats because they're a little tougher for your body to digest. And like I said, we don't want to have those kind of things in your body because it's just going to make it harder for activity, and it's going to make it harder for you to have blood ready for exercise rather than trying to digest. So we're going to talk about glycogen and carbohydrates the day before and the day of. So carbo loading. It's a really complex process. Everybody knows about it, but it's a lot more entailed than just eating a lot of carbs the day before. That's not a bad strategy, and that's what we're going to talk about. But the actual process of carbo loading takes place over a period of days to a week, and is really, really complex on completely depleting your body and then completely ramping up your carbohydrate intake, okay? So that's a true carbo loading process. For most of us, we're really just gonna focus on eating more carbs the day before because it's far more possible and less complex. So we do want to have high carbohydrate meals the day before activity or the day before a competition or a really specific and intense high intensity focused training session, right? One of those prime training sessions that we're talking about. So what you want to talk about is getting carbohydrates in the area of 6 to 8 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight, okay? So a kilogram of body weight means you take your body weight in pounds divided by 2.2. That's how you're going to get how many kilograms you weigh. So your body weight divided by 2.2. You should take in 6 to 8 grams of carbohydrates the day before per kilogram of body weight. That's a great way to focus on replenishing sufficient stores in your muscles and in your liver to be ready for the next day. We certainly don't want to go in low carb, low energy availability. That's how you risk injury, and you also decrease your performance, okay? So remember, the day before is going to be 6 to 8 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight. Make sure you're staying well hydrated, also getting good sleep. These are just good practices. In terms of electrolytes, you should consume these meals with electrolytes too, because that just maximizes your body's blood plasma volume and facilitates digestion and recovery, and again keeps you hydrated for the next day. So that's the day before. Now the day of, you should be focusing on a good meal, about 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight, about 3 to 4 hours before the training session or your competition. Okay, so get a good breakfast in you. You want to focus on, again, less fats, less proteins that are harder to digest, and you want to focus on aiming for carbohydrates in the realm of 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight. Now, for me, this is things like oatmeal, toast with some sort of, nut butter on them, almond butter, peanut butter. Yes, I know that is, fatty, but we're not having a lot of it, right? It's just a little bit. I also like the flavor of it. Fruits are a good idea. You could have toast with fruit, things like that. You could have a nice smoothie. You put a lot of things in there, that are just going to be better for you, easier to digest. You can do a little bit of yogurt, with some fruit in there. Those kind of things are great. So again, you want to focus on a high carb meal about 3 to 4 hours before your ideal activity, and you want to be in the 1 to 4 grams per kilogram of body weight for carbohydrates. All right. Now, stay hydrated, drink that with electrolytes, and then as you gear up for the game or the competition itself or the training session, right after you warm up, you want to take in a really simple form of sugar, right? Whether it's juice, some sort of high carb mixed drink, the goo gels, a granola bar, a chewy bar, something like that. Those are usually my go-tos. Around 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates, and one of those goo packets will do that for you. A banana is about 30 grams of carbohydrates, something like that. Simple sugars right before the match, at halftime, and then immediately following as well, so you can start to replenish glycogen stores. If it's a training session, again, after you're warming up, maybe halfway between, make sure if it's a training session, you're actually allowed to stay on top of your hydration and fueling a little bit more timely, so you can afford to go and do that more. If it's a high intensity training session, like I said, low skill, high intensity, high VO2 max type stuff, you're going to want to focus on staying really well hydrated and have your energy needs really well met. So that's really what we're talking about. I'm going to probably do a longer format thing. I even might want to turn this into a talk, but it's a really, really important topic to talk about. So for your athletes, right, the day before, 6 to 8 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight. The day of, right beforehand, about 3 to 4 hours beforehand, get a good meal in, about 1 to 4 grams per kilogram of body weight. And then right before, 30 to 60 grams total, midway between two, or as often as you can, focus on those simple sugars. So the day before, those slow digesting, really replenish your glycogen stores, get some good sleep, stay well hydrated. The day of, you want to focus on getting that good meal in a few hours beforehand, so you have plenty of time to digest, stay well hydrated. And then right beforehand and during, really focus on those those fast digesting, simple ones ready for availability right away. All right, that's the best approach for you. This is strictly a reductionist approach for the day before and the day of your activities. So if you guys have any questions, fire away. It's a great topic to talk about. Looking forward to covering this a bit more. But good luck to everybody. Hope your seasons are going well, and hope you're preparing for your winter one coming up. Cheers.